So we're going to call this meeting to order, Monday, July 14th, starting at 6:30.
Okay, I'll take roll. Chair Jesse Valdez.
Here.
Vice Chair Alderman Jason Craig.
Present.
Myself, Secretary Lance. Commissioner Stanley.
Present.
Commissioner Remington.
Here.
Commissioner Seraphin.
Here.
Mike Wrench is excused. Non-voting ex officio Leah Voss.
Here.
Non-voting ex officio Michelle Rente.
Here.
Kevin Schlater.
Here.
Principal Planner X.
Here.
And Mayor Nelson.
Here.
And
Associate Planner.
can you spell your last name?
Fuchs.
And a planner?
Associate.
Associate planner?
Yes.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I'd like to open this up for the citizen comment period. Mayor Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening to all. So it was my understanding that last meeting got a little contentious, got a little loud. What?
I wasn't here. What meeting was that?
Okay, well, excuse me?
What meeting was that?
Okay, the last meeting, it was brought to my attention that there was got a little loud, got a little heated, got a little passionate, which passion is, a lot of times, is what we're here for. So what I'd like to do is simply read the rules of decorum that I read verbatim at every common council meeting since I've been mayor. I like to read them now. And I'd like everybody to at least listen and pay attention to them. This laminated sheet is up at the podium over in the council room. It says City of Franklin meeting rules of decorum for attendees and participants. For those attending City of Franklin meetings, number 1, respectful and orderly conduct is expected at all times. Number 2, disruptive or unruly behavior, including but not limited to clapping, verbal disruptions, signs, and outbursts will not be tolerated. For those wishing to speak during City of Franklin meetings, approach the microphone, which is, we don't have a microphone here, when the chair opens the floor for citizen comments. Number 2, state your name and address for the record. Number 3, address your comments to the common council, board, commission, or committee only. Limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. No endorsements or electioneering are allowed. Number 6, speakers shall refrain from presenting unduly repetitious, offensive, threatening, slanderous, defamatory, or obscene remarks. Number 7, persons wishing to speak as a spokesperson on behalf of a neighborhood, subdivision, homeowners, condominium, or business association, or similar group with common interests shall demonstrate their qualifications to do so according to City of Franklin Resolution Number 2007-6227. I turned the air on, by the way. Before speaking on that body's behalf. Number 8, questions may be answered immediately by the chair or referred to city staff for a future reply in a timely manner. Those not adhering to these rules of decorum for attendees and participants will be asked to leave or be removed from the meeting if necessary. Thank you.
Any other citizen comments? Sir?
Hi, my name is Tim Birch. I spoke in front of the Park Commission quite a while ago. I'm here to talk about I'm not sure what it is, but the volunteer Friends of the Park group, whatnot. 7466 South 46th Street.
What is it?
7466 South 46th.
Thank you.
So if some of you remember when I for you, for the last 10 years or so, I was maintaining the trails on the city property east of Pleasant View Park, and there was some question as to whether I had permission to do that. I had a meeting with the mayor, city planner, and superintendent back in April, and they finally found the paperwork and concurred that I had permission to do that. But I was asked at that time to discontinue mowing the trails before really growing. And I was told that the city would be taking care of it, and they haven't. There was some discussion as to, because this area had prescribed burn in the spring, that the city wanted to handle the trails because, I'm not sure, given a good explanation, but fine, if they want to handle it, fine. I ended up talking with the person who was in charge of that at Pheasants Are Forever. He gave me two reasons. One, I find kind of disingenuous. He was talking about how trails can disrupt ground nesting birds and whatnot. This coming from a person whose organization is involved in basically introducing foreign species and then shooting them. Be that as it may. The other reason he gave was because sometimes when they're doing a burn, if there's lots of trails, it can make it difficult to carry the fire through. And I can understand that. I don't think that I mean, I've been involved in some prescribed burns. I think the areas are large enough that the few dissecting trails or intersecting trails aren't enough to really hamper their endeavors. However, mowing around the perimeter, which is the majority of the trail, is actually a benefit to them. So that there's a natural fire break, so the fire isn't carried into the tree line and whatnot. So I'm coming here to ask one or two things. One, have the city follow up with their promise and maintain the trails.
3 minutes.
This is I've given 3 minutes or 5 minutes?
3 minutes.
I'm done?
Are you on the agenda in a different?
No.
No.
Okay.
Is there a 3-minute limit?
That's what the mayor just said.
Okay, I didn't.
Can I ask for just about 30 seconds more?
You
So either allow me to maintain trails or have the city do it. And if they're really concerned about having the trails dissecting, there's I think of 3 places where they don't go around the perimeter. Fine. Abandon those until the prescribed burns are done. But I've had neighbors come by and ask me, hey, what's with the trails? Why aren't they being done anymore? And so we had an amenity for the neighborhood, and now it's gone. And it's just a simple matter of saying, hey, Tim, why don't you get out there and mow the perimeter? I'm happy to do it. I'm happier if the city would do it. But, thanks.
Thank you.
The only thing I want to say, and I don't know if it needs to get on the agenda, if he would add it to the agenda sometime. But there were reasons that were given at the meeting why they didn't want it to continue.
Do you have an item about invasive species management and buckthorn? This is like broadly related to that.
Right, but I do remember at that meeting, there were things that happened, things were moved and there were reasons given. So if they want.
I think it should be put on the agenda again and discuss. I don't think the mowing was so much of the problem, it was the culverts, digging and that.
I don't know much about this, but last meeting, it was stated that the Department of Public Works would take over the trail. Is that the same area that we're speaking about?
Yeah, it's park next to Pleasant. right?
Was it, yep.
So it's still a matter that's open for discussion, or are you taking? Yes. He's just simply saying they're not being maintained, but maybe not being maintained the way that they used to be. That
Well, and when you're saying taking over, I think if Mr. Birch wants to get it added to the agenda, what does that mean, taking over?
That's what
Because
I was
that's
asking.
what happened, is there was excess being done. And it was caused some damage.
Any other citizens make a comment at this time? All right, that closed at 6:41. The next thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the June 9th meeting.
Do you want to wrap up about that and the January 8th?
Both of them at the same time?
I have a note that I did note the minutes from your last meeting. Do you need a correction because the both of you are chair, when in fact Mr. Craig is vice chair. So that they need to do it.
That was on the June 9th?
This time. So what's the due process?
Just as amended.
Okay. So motion to amend
Where is that in the minutes?
June 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the June 9th minutes, it's the election item.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Mike Wrench is a commissioner now?
Just a commissioner.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written with the one exception of the change to the school chair position.
I'll second.
The motion is
First and second.
first. I'm sorry. Crap, what do I do again?
Second.
First and second. All those in favor?
Okay, that's right. First and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain because it wasn't at the meeting.
Majority, so-
Yeah.
All those opposed?
All those opposed?
No one spoke against it?
Then the motion will
Mary,
carry.
you're an aye.
I was not at that.
So are you abstaining?
Yes.
Sorry, it's been a minute on this. Those to approve. So we'll go unfinished business. So we'll start with A, an update on parks maintenance.
Just the general maintenance has been going on, nothing extra, just because we've been busy with the festival and that, so just normal, keeping up with day-to-day stuff and a little bit of vandalism. Nothing. I don't like.
A little bit of vandalism. Okay.
Light vandalism.
Best kind.
Would it be appropriate to ask about the pickleball email about things got moved and were they taken down now? I haven't been over there in a while. The bin being,
I think that's on the agenda.
is it on the agenda?
D.
Oh, my bad. I thought that came up in the parks maintenance portion. I didn't see it there.
This
Well,
would be a good time for the bottle caps.
Oh, there was information in your packet for Kayla's Playground. The bottle cap art was updated. You have that in your packets. We thank those who were involved in that update. So there's some fading and whatnot on some of the caterpillar and the butterfly and the ladybugs. So Emily Hill and her group came out and actually repaired those. They look real nice and fresh. So as a commission, I'd like to thank all of them for taking care of that and coming up.
Beautiful. All right. Moving on then. Community event engagement. As a commission, should definitely start thinking about, I believe, the next one is National Night Out, trunk or treat, other events coming up. I think as a commission, we definitely should come up with a plan for at least one of those events. Because at least on the environmental side commission before, we didn't really do too much, at least when I was in it. So I'd like to actually do something this time around. If someone from the parks side of things wants to share kind of what they did for the other events coming up last year, that'd be awesome. I don't know.
We did the trunk or treat, and we did a Jurassic Parks themed Franklin Parks, but it was like dinosaur themed with a giant palm tree. We had printouts of the maps that were created by the Parks Commission. We had a large framed map, and then some of those printed booklets that were done through the Tourism Commission. And it was just an opportunity to talk to citizens. We got a lot of positive feedback about Kayla's, for sure.
You did crayon giveaway, the crayons.
We
and that
gave
little
away
coloring.
crowns, and we had a coloring sheet that was park animal themed, and then we had stickers that were park rangers.
Yeah.
So, and that was through donations from commissioners who bought them off of Amazon and passed those out. We still have a few of the crown packs left. I have a case in my
Prior to that, the National Night Out, Kayla's Playground was, I had a table there at National Night Out. We handed out butterflies and also the parks maps that had a really good feedback from the community on those. So it was really nice to offer it again as well at Trunk or Treat. Well received.
National Nights Out.
August 4th.
Yeah, and I haven't received any information from the community officer about it, so if there's an interest in doing that, I could direct folks to him. Otherwise, trunk or treat, it's accessible in terms of time.
Yeah.
What's the date for that one? October?
Don't know, but I can find out.
The bike rodeo already happened. That was in June.
Doesn't the library usually put something out about it? I think they do. They have a little, and they have those little handouts in there. You sign up in there.
They run the Halloween pumpkin art contest.
They do. I am on the library board, so
Oh.
I can bring back information about that next
Oh,
time.
great.
And I agree that if we look forward, I would rather that we put our energies and have a really solid showing with trunk or treat than having to
And
like
rushing.
rushing something into the national night out.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make sure we'll add that to the next one. So that's good there. Next one on the agenda is Friends of Park / Park Watch kind of discussion of creation of a Park Watch or Park Cleanup Group. I I don't know too much about this, so if someone wants to fill me in there, that'd be.
This is something that's come up perennially as like a request from the community and from this commission and also the former environmental commission to do bathroom cleanups like were discussed earlier, do litter cleanups. There's the spring Arbor Day cleanup that happens citywide. I did reach out to the rec department to see if they had capacity to maybe support that, and they were like, probably not, but I do think it would be appropriate to think through a way for this commission to support volunteer community. I think one of the things that we have learned as we work on this commission is that staff doesn't have the capacity to necessarily supervise volunteer activities. So if there was someone that wanted to take on a leadership role to do that and coordinate with, that would be great, but kind of where it stands. So we're happy to support what you guys want to do up to a point, but there's a limit on how much the city can actually.
Just out of curiosity, just as a start, do we, as a commissioner group, have a Facebook page?
No.
Are
And
we allowed to?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
I can ask though.
Okay.
I do know that some departments individually have Facebook groups. I'm not.
Yeah, there's that community, Franklin Community.
Yeah, I got
Site.
banned from.
Yeah.
That's
If that's not a good, wouldn't be a good place.
Does DPW have a Facebook?
We do, but I think we maybe put it up.
Yeah, it's.
Facebook's nice.
It can be, yes.
Well, there's rules governing.
Oh,
Government does it.
Sure.
So you have, because of the, you have to keep records of everything.
Yeah, the message.
oh, yeah.
I will make an inquiry about like what communication skills. The commission has a website, a page on this website that you can request to have information placed on it. The formatting can't really change, but
Sure.
for example, we put the schedule up as requested for some of the things we approved. There's coloring. So, and that can be, I don't have to be the point of contact for that. You can directly with the web administrator, but I don't know that one.
Shelley, what did you do when you got that group to start? You know, that comes into the park. They sort of monitor what's going on in the park.
Oh, you mean the ambassador
Yeah.
program? So I have been running the ambassador program since 2018. It was just a program that I created and worked.
I mean, you don't have to be there with them. If it would be, if we could get someone started here to get volunteers.
Well, you still have to oversee it.
But you're not at the park every day, are you?
No, but I manage the shifts and the sign-ups, and
Oh,
I track
okay.
your hours, and we do a recognition in the fall.
Okay.
I go through a training with the police department as well. It's about an hour training and then on-site training as well. So it takes time and effort and management. You know, you just can't let it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but I thought if we developed rules, or I didn't know what the detail would be.
Yeah,
But
that's just
yeah.
for Kayla's Playground.
Yeah, but I know, because
it's
I
the
know a lot
ambassador
of people,
program, but
they want to volunteer, and it's an opportunity if you want to do it.
yeah, and we clean up out at Kayla's. DBW does as well. As the ambassadors have that training, but that's only for one park. So as
Yeah.
far as other parks,
Is it scalable where what the framework of what the ambassador program is that something that you could see being something that could be implemented citywide, or is that once you start getting to a larger scale that it's not really workable in that framework?
well, I mean, if are all of us in different districts? I mean, that would be a question. If you want to head it up in your district, I think you get a neighborhood of a community that wants to, focus on one of the parks or playgrounds or whatever, I think that would be doable. It's maybe something that we reach out to common council and say, is there someone in your district that would be willing to watch over or clean up in your area? I would start there first because it's local, it's easy to walk to, it's, you know, it's kind of centralized, right, in that area. That's what I would suggest. Doing something on that, in that realm, right? I mean,
So we need a Shelley for our park.
yeah.
Basically.
Well, I think there's community members out there. It's just asking, right? And finding someone that's passionate about the parks in our city. DPW does an amazing job at our cleanup in our city. And so it's, you know, it's not like we have garbage laying around everywhere. So park cleanup, yeah, you're going to have some times, summertime specifically, that are going to be high, you know, that you have a little bit more. But is it necessary? That's a question. Is it necessary? Do we have the work, the manpower, and all of that? So those are all questions I need to discuss.
Doesn't sound bad, but just out of curiosity, how many parks do we have in the city?
There are 13
Okay.
city parks and several thousand trails.
7 total, right?
Say again?
With the county parks and everything?
Yeah,
Or-
with
yeah.
those are just city parks.
City
There's
parks.
13. So, and then the county is responsible for the management.
Sure,
of
there
all.
are. Yeah.
So you said this is something that comes up on the agenda. Is there someone here that's spearheading it to come up, or is there a? Who was that lady that committee that resigned?
Yeah.
Oh.
Karen, yes.
And what was the drive? Because to me, park watch and park cleanup are two completely different goals. And so I don't, you know, we got to get up to speed on your
Yeah.
commission, but park
Well, a
watch
lot of
would
it-
be to have a volunteers thinking they're, you know, security or something. I just don't think that would be. But I also don't know what the driver was, like what the one.
We were having an issue with vandalism, so it was presence at the parks that, you know, people would see citizens caring about their parks and that it would encourage vandalism and littering to come down. That was our big push last year, and we even did the littering as the theme of the trunk or treat, right? So the kids did the coloring page, and it was like, what do you want your park to look like? And it was littered, and then it was a clean park, right? So I think that's how it came up. It was presence at the park to make sure that they weren't getting vandalized and littered.
Have you seen it? Or is, I have no context about vandalism. works.
Vandalism, we see our share.
Yeah.
Like Kelly was saying, I think we do a pretty good job of keeping, not pat myself on the back by no means, but I think the guys in the department do a great job of keeping it clean, keeping
Very
it
good.
safe.
I would pat you on the back because I go to 3 parks regularly, and this surprises me a little because I don't see litter and I don't see vandalism, but that's why I was wondering where it's coming.
Do you have a dollar amount by chance? Average or maybe? Just out of
You know, we
curiosity.
try and repair it ourselves in-house a lot
Sure.
instead of placing every time,
Yeah.
but sometimes it gets to the point where we just can't anymore.
Yeah.
A couple $1,000 a year.
Last year we had bathroom closures because of the vandalism in the bathrooms.
Which is what the issue is again this year, where they're bathroom stalls, they're smashing them off the walls, stuff like that. Changing tables, they break off the walls, stuff like that.
Is it, are you seeing it more in particular parks, or is it kind of?
Lions and Vernon Park are the 2 big ones.
Where's that second park?
Vernon Park, which is like 86th to Drexel, with the 2 courts out front.
Oh,
Lions
sure.
is right
Yeah.
here behind
Okay,
City
gotcha.
Hall.
Yep.
Vernon Bark is the big one. That you're getting hit a lot.
So the one closest to the option.
Can't you lock one of those doors on those bathrooms? You know, they open on both sides. I mean, I don't know if that would help. Do they go in one door, they scoot out the back door? I never could figure why they have doors.
That might be an egress thing for an emergency. Like you can't trap people into a room, so they wouldn't be able to lock it on one
There aren't-
side, right?
But there aren't two doors on all the bathrooms, the others. That's why that doesn't.
With
Well, the west door is supposed to be for the people on the path. The path walks right by the west doors. And the other doors on the east side are supposed to be for the people on the patio. That's what the intention
I
in the
got you.
beginning. But, I mean, we could close the east.
I don't know if it would help or not.
Right.
Just bringing it up.
Does signage ever seem to help? Does it want to like see something, say something, or fine $250 if bought blah blah blah?
We actually did that last year, and then we did it again this year now. And that does seam to help for a little while.
Oh, good.
It kind of, we think it makes them think like, oh,
Somebody's
you know,
looking at
somebody,
Yeah.
they're telling everybody to report us.
They had it put in the mailer, this mailer to this
Yeah.
something, say something, like a neighborhood watch kind of, like a eagle eye logo that Karen had.
I don't know if this is, if I can say this. Can we make a recommendation to increase fines damage to Franklin-owned parks?
So the fines are set by municipal code.
Okay.
So that's something that the common council would have to make
Sure.
a change to, but if the wanted to make a recommendation about that,
Okay.
I know littering is also as
Yeah.
well as like a specific concern.
Yeah,
Um,
I can add that to the next
Or
agenda.
what about a little reward if they turn somebody in? My buddy, do you
Yeah,
know what
I know
I'm
how that would
saying? My
work.
little buddy, I saw him doing this in the bathrooms, and that might scare a couple. I'm just saying it might
Yeah.
prevent them from doing it, but
to appeal to people's lesser angels.
yes.
Okay. Anything else on that, or are we good to move on?
I would, oh, go ahead.
The only thing I was gonna say is, I do think the DPW keeps the parks clean. I mean, on occasion, you'll get something that, you know, you'll have a party there, and they'll leave too much trash or whatever, but on a whole, they're clean. And, Park Watch, if the signs are doing it, I don't know, it would be nice to have the volunteers. I don't know if we have the time right now to do it or not.
What would they need more? Like if we make a recommendation to purchase some signs, that would say, you know, if,
We make all our signs.
or you
in-house.
have it all. Okay. Okay.
You didn't steal those, did you?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
If I may.
Yeah.
Is this something that you want to continue to discuss, like? or-
Yeah,
or-
I'll we do the agenda next.
Okay.
On there, 'cause I don't want to get.
Right,
too.
but is there more information that I can bring you or
Oh.
recommendation that this is I just need to help kind of this conversation?
Yeah.
It's as some folks have touched on, it's been a perennial conversation that there hasn't been any action on. So,
I think there would be two items that I would be more interested in seeing is if the level of vandalism increases, would be like if there's a trigger of how much is being done. If all of a sudden there's an uptick and all of a sudden there's no doors on any of the bathrooms, that would I think merit a deeper conversation about this. The other thing is, as referenced in citizen comment period of the state of the trails and things of that nature. If there is a need based on if there's a need for additional help by volunteers to lessen the load on DPW, if that would be welcome.
The trails and that we're gonna take care of just because of the prescribed burns and they want it done a certain way. So we're gonna handle that in-house.
Okay.
Got a plan on that. We're working with the company, we're working with our guys, we're gonna take care of that in-house. Sure what they want. Not necessarily what we want. And make sure it's a partnership with them.
Would it be possible to do an update on the burn and kind of what it looks like?
Yeah.
Respond to questions.
I'd like to make a recommendation. If we could get documentation of the vandalism, we could easily put that into like a montage of pictures and put that into the newsletter to say, this is what we're seeing at the parks. Then it gives the parents a visual. They can talk to their kids about it. You know, we can play it into some kind of like see something, say something. But we've talked about vandalism, but unless you see it, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, they vandalized the toilets at the park. Oh, that's terrible. But if you saw the stall broken apart, like, this is egregious, you know? And we might generate some more initiative from citizens to, like, remind their family members to, you know, see something, say something. It's a recommendation. We could get some visual,
I think
like,
that's a good
documentation
idea.
going, and maybe like twice a year we put it together and say, this is the vandalism that we're seeing in parks, you know?
I think it would, I agree. I think even if you, like, if you think it's a couple $1,000s, whatever it is, we had to spend this money to fix these things instead of being able to spend this money to help keep the park clean or mow this, whatever the
Enhance any sort of other
dollars
amenities or
speak to people. Like,
Yeah.
this is your tax dollars going to pay for bathroom doors every time these people pull them off the wall.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever.
Doesn't have to be a monthly thing at each meeting,
No.
but we could maybe set 2 days during the year, or that we would put it together for one of the publications that we do. Easily put together a little one picture of a bunch of different, you know, vandalism shots or
Do you take pictures, Paul?
Sometimes, our parks person in the parks only has a flip phone, so it isn't. So, and
But doesn't somebody else have to come and fix it?
yeah, but the parks person at night will clean up the best they can, you know, so.
But like
Especially
the
if
doors.
it's a situation, doors, yeah, but if it's something where somebody went in there and
pull all the paper
smeared
towels
things
out or
and,
something.
yeah, if
Okay.
that, or
Yeah,
plugs the sinks with sand, which is a big thing. Or smear things on the walls, some disgusting things. You know, that we clean up right away at night, get it off.
Okay.
Wouldn't have pity.
Great.
All right, cool. We have till
9 p.m. At 9 p.m. you can table the remaining agenda. We try not to go that late.
Yeah, no, I want to. Either. I'll just go to D real quick then. The Franklin Rec Department pickleball movement. Ever requests? I have no idea.
That's just the usual request for windscreens. I think they're up already.
They're up, but some of them were cut down for the 4th of July tournament, so we're not putting the ones that were cut down back up because it was requested by another group.
Who cut them down? Just tournament people? Or you?
It was on the 4th of July, and they had a tournament there, and why they did.
They did it? Did they give you the net? Give you the?
They threw it on the side. Happened.
Wow.
Like a whole side or
The
It's-
south side.
really?
Not the whole side, but a lot of it.
They're not ruined, are they?
I haven't seen it. Dale found it and wrapped it up. I don't. He didn't say it was.
That was from the Premier Pickleball Club, wasn't it? That hosted that tournament?
Southeastern Wisconsin Pickleball
Oh,
Association.
southeastern Wisconsin. Wow. Yeah, if there's another tournament.
Yeah. Were they not good?
Well, I think it was inappropriate for them to cut that.
Yeah, oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Did
yeah.
you make a call to make sure it was them? I mean, a lot of people going through the cars.
We wanna follow up.
I know it was.
So
Makes sense.
maybe
We would want to follow up with the Civic Celebration Committee because they're the ones that sponsored that tournament.
Yeah.
So could you bring that back to them and ask them to figure out who did that? Maybe?
And
I don't know
Who
if
was
they're-
gonna do that?
The Civic Celebration Committee
But who's following up?
came here. The city could press a message through.
Marion?
Yeah, I'll coordinate that with you, Kevin. They contacted me as part of the request.
Right. I mean, that would be a reason not to let them have the reservation next year, right? If they weren't able to use the
Respect
property
it.
without
Yeah,
damaging
they should
it,
never have
right?
done
Right. So we had a volunteer, Maureen, from the rec department who contacted. Or did you want to talk about it, or?
No, I mean, it's just the usual, I mean, we're all very, if you're on the email chain, you're pretty familiar with it by now, but the bin at Vernon Bar, they wanted to move it over to the new ones. That bin is very old and old. If you move it, it's gonna fall apart, so we offered to buy a new bin to put over there. They store their pickleballs, the holders, the rosters, the nets, things like that in the bin. We were told we are not do that, so, they're just gonna keep their stuff in the old bin now.
Told not to do what? To buy any bin?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
Parks didn't want any big thing on the property.
could we use this?
I guess we could get
Storage.
follow-up from Kevin because there was an email that said it can't be addressed, and there was another issue that came with they moved stuff off of the wall, is that right? Or off of the
Oh.
one side of the court to the other side of the court?
What happened, okay, so when the nets initially went up, we didn't realize this is really practically the first year that those courts are being used. And we asked to have the paddle holders put on the south fencing. But it can't, after being there for, first session, we find that the east side of the court's really better. It's shaded, it's flat, there's that ditch, on the south side between, so it wasn't easy, to cross. So what they did is, one of the volunteers had one of those paddle holders like yours. They attached it with zip ties. They had one that Sam Chrissy made, and then they had one that somebody else had made and attached them with zip ties. I hope that we can keep it there until next year, because that's the side we're using. And we know that, well, as I understand, you wouldn't be able to move the other ones because the nets are up. Then you can't get behind the nets to screw them in. But with that, is that okay?
So as far as I knew, the ones that are there are fine.
The ones that are there, they're perfectly fine.
Oh.
But we had some old ones, because was our understanding the city wasn't going to move them over to the south side, where we have the players going now on the south side. So we put up some ones that we had, and somebody said they were going to take them down if we didn't remove them. They didn't know we did it. It was the volunteers.
The only thing we have to be careful about is when these paddle holders go up, that's not a safety issue. As in that's the only thing I'm saying is that we have to be careful so somebody can't walk into them, hit them with their, if it's at eye level or something. That's the only thing we have to really watch. I never said to take any down or Gail never came to me and said, take them down.
Um,
As far as I know, what's there
I
is
don't
state.
know.
So the email says that whoever
I didn't see
took it
the
upon
email.
themselves to install things on the fence surrounding the pickleball courts will be removing them we will be removing them when time allows. That's from you. So that's what I'm following up on.
If-
Were they removed? Are
No,
they
they
going to
weren't.
be removed?
They're there.
I haven't
There.
played pickleball.
I
in a
was
while.
there tonight.
So they haven't been removed. Will they be able to leave them there?
We'll take a look at them. Now, if the festival's over, we'll take a look. If everything's
Okay.
fine, it's just,
Sure,
if
I
it's a safety
understand that.
issue.
You know, when people take their eye out when they're on
Yeah.
the court, right?
You know, because I do notice that they're at.
And so in talking to Maureen, a little bit more background information for the bin is that we have multiple volunteers. It's not always the same person. So the problem is driving to Vernon Bar, taking all of the equipment out of that, then bringing it around to the other side, and then at the end, packing it up and driving it back around. For convenience sake, they were hoping to get some kind of storage bin, and I think they found one for like a Costco one or something that they could put there. My thing was like securing it because we're always talking about vandalism. So of course we don't want somebody else gone with it, you know, and then
Right.
lose out on the equipment and the bin, being on the opposite side of the court. Is that not a possibility? It said in the email that we're just too busy right now. It's not high priority. So I'm just wondering if in the future, maybe next season, we could make a plan to put a bin on there, or we're not going to be outside that much longer.
Well,
right?
till the end of October.
Right. And
What
that doesn't
about
seem like very long.
wasn't there a way, somebody said there would be a way to secure it.
Depends what kind of storage bin you get. Maybe.
She said the one that she had sent to you, I guess, or one of those, yeah.
I mean, it happens a lot. You can do a code, volunteer.
But I'm
can have
saying,
code.
could somebody literally pick it up and take it out of there? Would they? I don't know.
Chances are.
You know?
Weird thing to steal.
Yeah. It is. It
Depends
is.
on how motivated they are.
So if it's not possible.
I mean, that's all that's in there. We store the rosters in there.
The starting point is though, can we put a bin at the pickleball courts?
If-
for storage, similar to what Vernon Bard had.
But I think it's like those heavy duty plastic.
Yeah.
Not a metal one like that Vernon Bar.
It all depends. We have to keep the sidewalks ADA compliant, so we can't just put a box on the sidewalk. We have to make sure that everything stays, like I say, ADA compliant. How much room do we have? Honestly, the sidewalk was not designed width-wise to be having, I'm assuming this box is 3-4 feet by 2.5.
I mean, it could be whatever.
It's
There's
a
a lot
good
of the
chunk
space
of the
as well.
sidewalk, so have to.
Is there a sidewalk on the north side?
Does the sidewalk extend the full length of the court on that side? Is there a grass area on the end of the sidewalk that it could go on?
Wasn't at the last meeting.
I was-
Meeting before that, I thought we talked about using the van shell for storage.
We asked. We didn't- I don't know if we couldn't do
What
that.
happened with that?
Opening up the band.
Getting a key for the volunteers to store it in there.
In there.
I know Muskego, they have a big shed, and I think they keep their lawnmowers in there and everything. I don't know that 100%. I shouldn't say that.
So
but-
could we use that? You have something in there?
Well, there's things in there, yeah, but
Well, then the issue with that is multiple volunteers having to, is it key?
No, they would
lock or-
each get a key.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah. You gotta have key control.
Yeah, you
for,
do.
City
Unless there's
property.
you don't
Don't
have
you
a
have a
combo lock on the
combination
door.
lock?
Yeah, you can use a real estate lock code on there.
Oh, that would be perfect.
That's what we use
Oh, there it is.
as long as people put the key back.
Yeah.
Can you, just so we're not talking about a box for 4 hours, can you bring us like 3 ideas that we can do for the next meeting and kind of discuss it?
what
What's
we need to
possible.
also keep in mind that
Yeah.
whatever I mean,
No, you're good.
whatever we do for one group, we have to do for all.
Okay.
So
Is
it's
this
gonna
for a
be
group
selective.
or is this just for the community? 'Cause I don't know.
No.
I'm not a big paddle guy.
This is for the rec group.
Oh, okay.
Jesse, could we ask the pickleball people to take a look at the site and do just a really rough diagram of here's the 2 spots we'd like to put this, and then present it so that we're not wondering?
I would like to do that, and I would like that if we could get it to Kevin through Leah before, because we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's just such an inconvenience. Not that it's that far, but you're dragging fencing, you're dragging the book. Lost and Found is in there. That bin, nobody uses it but the volunteers.
Well, and I am going to say that the median age of our volunteers approaching, and then the walk from the street parking to the back where we do all of the meeting is kind of far for them to carry all that stuff too. No offense. I mean, we're all pretty fit. We're in the right.
I am offended.
I'm offending my friends right now, probably, right?
We use the wagon.
Because I concur that we don't want to talk about this for 4 hours. But
Right.
if they're too busy right now and this is a priority, bring a map and say, can we put one here and here, and this is the bin?
And send the picture of the bin, and
yes or
can
no.
we place it in one of these places? I'm sure there's some way we could secure it ourselves without
Yeah.
having, unless, Kevin, you have to do it yourself in your department. As a temporary thing.
We'll look at it.
Okay.
I don't want to say, because we got to be careful with what we're putting in the parks. We
Sure.
just can't put stuff in the parks because somebody's takes something, steals something, gets hurt on something, climbs over the top of it, and we have to look at everything. What we just do that. I hate to be like that, but I've gotten myself pinched before where we allow something and next thing I know, somebody trying to sue us over something.
I can appreciate that, but we had a bin at the other side, so which sounds like it's not safe. 'Cause it's gonna
This
fall
bin
apart.
sounds like it would probably be safer than
That's
the,
what I guess my biggest pushback is, like, we've already had the bin there for a decade plus.
and it was at Kinwindle prior.
But it
We
wasn't on the site.
moved rec department to the new courts, right? That was there as a part of the whole program for it. And when we're inside in the middle school, they give us a sports locker, and we have
yeah.
a locked up bin that we roll in there every night with all of our extra gear and stuff. So we have storage for that too.
But
That's
Kristen,
all.
I do think what they're saying is that, and I play pickleball too, that hill is there, and there is a sidewalk that goes all the way around it. So go look where you want to put the bin, so it's not on the sidewalk, so it's not, and then maybe we put this to rest.
I'll talk to Maureen, and we'll get some pictures, we'll get them to you.
Perfect. That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
I'll add it to the next agenda, but if whoever
If we
is
can
a
do
part
it
of this
before, it
could
would
bring,
be great.
yeah. That's that then.
Can I add a little something to that? Windscreens, our rec department offered to pay for those, so I have a invoice. Again, we're happy to pay for those. That's a
Dale submitted.
request.
I thought I
I'll have to
heard
ask 'em.
that it was somebody was bringing it.
Somebody
I thought
was
I
supposed
read it
to.
in one of the minutes.
Yeah, somebody was supposed to. I haven't ever gotten it.
Oh,
I'll ask you.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. I guess I'll do this
yeah.
hearing about this combined commission. If you want to keep talking about it.
Yeah, so the item with the overview is actually Dale will do a presentation for you. Unfortunately, he's not here this evening, but he has like a slideshow to answer questions, provide general information about how many parks, the types of facilities, those kinds of things. And then I'll touch on the comprehensive outdoor recreation plan, but at a future. At your last meeting, we had an overview of the previous natural resource special exception requirements. I don't have updated slides for that this evening, so if you did overview by tabling it, I can provide resources and feedback. You guys all received at your last meeting. And for those of you that weren't there, I have additional copies, which were also in the packet, or should have been, of the compensation requirements as part of that discussion of natural resource compensation and natural resource special exceptions. Anyone need one of the sheets?
I'll take one.
Yeah.
Here, did you want
Can you
Marion?
pass one to Mary, please? And then, as part of that discussion, I'm also going to pass around. So this is the draft compensation guide for natural resource special exceptions. So this is an administrative policy that we were working on as part of the Environmental Commission's contribution to Unified Development Ordinance. This hasn't been adopted yet, so this is something that we've been using as guidance as we engage in discussions about NRSCs, but this is subject to edits, so I'm going to pass this around and give you guys some time with it. I emailed this out a couple weeks ago, but didn't get a chance to put a paper copy in your packet. And also, so this item about the recommendation forms for NRSC, so all applicants are required to fill out a questionnaire. It's literally the verbatim text of the development ordinance. And so with that, this commission then makes a recommendation to the Plan Commission. And so Commissioner Seraphim and I have will be working up some new materials for you. So there's the standards, findings, and decision, and the Environmental Commission recommendation form for the NRSC that has been previously used but doesn't comport with the new development ordinance. So we need a new recommendation form. It needs to reflect what you, the commission, think is important, and also the requirements of the ordinance. So for now, I'm just passing these around, and if you would like to spend some time with them over the next month, I won't be at your next meeting. I will be on vacation. Sorry, everyone.
How dare you.
But I would like to try to move these items along in terms of getting them ready for actual use by the commission for the next calendar year. So we have some time to work through it. And if you have questions in the interim, please do email me, and then I'll have more information in September. So.
Did the Environmental Commission have this stuff?
It looked different. So the compensation guide, there was no comparable administrative guide. So when someone approached the city to do an NRSD, that variance for natural resources, they would make a proposal for how they thought it was most appropriate to provide mitigation. And there are some scientific standards that can be measured against, but ultimately there wasn't anything giving them any real direction, so they all looked different. So this plan guidance item is like, if you're making a compensation proposal, here is the tool that can help you shape it. And then this question and answer, there was a significantly longer set of standards that the ordinance required that applicants provide responses to, and then the staff also kind of evaluates that and puts together the recommendation, a draft recommendation from this or from the previous version of it. And so now there is not a form that matches the questionnaire for your recommendation or your piece of legislation that you're putting forward to the Plan Commission. And in the past, it was basically like the ordinance requires this. It's based on largely on the PNR's like wetland mitigation standards, and it didn't apply to all situations. Didn't accurately reflect some of the findings of the commission.
So would you use these together? These
Correct.
two?
They kind of fit together. So like the application that's on your agenda next, it was reviewed at the previous meeting, and then there's more information.
Okay.
These are the kinds of things that the applicant has to incorporate
They
into
have to
their
fill out.
proposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is this a draft also? Where's this?
This is actually the text of the ordinance. So this is the existing Unified Development Ordinance. It
Okay.
went into effect on, these are great questions. So it went into effect on June 9th. And so applicants now are, when they're requesting this variance, they must respond to these questions.
Okay.
And then you evaluate whether or not you think the responses are reasonable. So every application for this variance type requires this. And then your recommendation would theoretically include, like, we think they should change this aspect of it, we disagree with this statement, or support this statement,
Okay.
those kinds of things. So,
Marion.
as well as the chair. So,
Yes.
I have a question.
you have a question?
Yeah.
Please.
Oh.
We're trying to be Robert's Rules and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
I just want to know, is there a definition for self-imposed?
That is a good question. And so the kind of standard definition applies. And then there is also, it's kind of that reasonable understanding of what it would be. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a type of variance. It's a request for an allowance outside of what would normally be required by the laws of the city, and whether or not the conditions that are the cause of that are a result of something that the property owner created that situation, or it was something external that affected them. So for example, if a floodplain were to change, that would be something where they could potentially then be inside a floodplain and it's reasonable to grant a variance for that, those kinds of things. So that's an extreme example. But like if the boundaries of a wetland can change, would probably be a better example. That would be something where that's not self-imposed, right? So yeah, that's kind of the reasonable definition of it. But there is a technical definition that it's in the conceptual. Sorry. Happy Monday, everyone. An NRSE is a type of variance, and when you are evaluating whether or not something is self-imposed, it's did that person create the circumstances that they're then asking the rules. So. This is going to be kind of an ongoing discussion as we work through these forms and make sure that they're aligning with your goals as a commission in terms of how compensation and mitigation should look. One of the things that we've talked about is in lieu and off-site compensation for things. So how this affects your city and how it makes the environment here look is really what this is about. So I'll let that marinate. And then if you guys have questions, again, please bug me. I'm happy to send out the comprehensive outdoor recreation plan again so you can kind of think about this in the full context of open spaces and parks. Includes my lengthy.
How is the form presented to the requester? Is it like hard copy of this that they fill out, or is this going to be an online application?
All of our forms are available as fillable PDFs, and we require with an application submittal that they submit both electronically and a hard paper copy. There's some external state requirements about record retention that the applicant physically have to keep a physical copy of the initial application as well as an electronic copy. So yeah, we need a paper copy from them. In the past, I will note too that the practice has been both commissions, the Parks Commission and Environmental Commission, didn't get paper packets unless there was a natural or special exception or something. In the case of the Environmental Commission, unless there was this NRSE, there's also the paper requirement, and then you guys need to be able to see the materials and they have to be legible. So that's why you guys got most should have gotten. Did anyone not get their packet in the mail besides Amy? Okay. good to know. So typically we email things out, but we would email a copy for the NRSEs so that you can look at the maps and that kind of stuff. Or we might ask you to pick them up with promise.
So, after all that, is this going to be discussed 2 meetings from now? Then so we should review this and just bring comments? Is that what you're looking for?
Yep, bring any comments or feedback that you have or questions about the material, and then with the form itself, the end goal is that we arrive at a recommendation template from this commission that reflects whether or not you agree with the claims of the applicant and support that or not. So it's a we recommend approval, we recommend denial finding that would then be advanced to the plan commission as your recommendation. So
Good.
I just have a question. How is this letter E affecting letter F? It's like we're holding off on the natural resource, but we have the natural resource on the agenda.
we're in kind
So
of
how
a
does that?
They did follow and filled out the new forms.
Okay. I just didn't want, is it going to be delayed for 2 months while the commission figures that out? So I just want to make sure as a piece.
Yeah, I can jump into that under.
Thank you.
I have a couple of comments. The form itself being filled out by the applicant. I mean, the first thing is, if they're coming to the commission, they're already not going to be able to follow the ordinance. So they're asking that we make an exception to our rules about the environmental protections that the cities agreed to put in place for construction or for whatever, right? So then they fill this out, and one of the things that I've seen is that the people filling it out, and this is not being critical of anyone individually, it's just saying you read these questions and they answer them as a lay person that doesn't have experience in wetlands, in woodlands, and so it doesn't really have any, I see it where there's NA, or we see this one that we're going to talk about in F, where they say, well, wetland species won't be affected because we're going to put in a wet retention pond, which is not at all an accurate statement. And so my concern is, like, I would hope our planner, and Nick, this might be a question for you, either we need to require that the applicants have some kind of person with some background and knowledge in what they're actually answering, or the city needs to evaluate the answer and say, well, that's not actually true. And because by the time it comes to us, volunteers who are trying to, make a recommendation, first of all, every single one of them is at the 11th hour. Oh, we've already planned our construction. We've already done this. And so there is no time. So we're being pressured to make a recommendation each time in a quick manner. And then the stuff that we're receiving is not, in my estimation, been really a fair and accurate representation of what's actually going on in the site, because it's filled out by someone without any background. And so this is a big concern of mine. And as we move to make recommendations and move these things forward, I mean, those will certainly be things that I'm going to list as recommendations. You have to hire someone. If you're wanting to remove a wetland, you need to hire someone with, and I know they have a wetland delineator, but that's who should be filling this form out with you, or
the planner sends it.
Or the planner
sends it back and says.
Which is what happened at the last meeting, and so because everybody was frustrated, I think, at the last meeting. I was very frustrated because we can't make a decision because the information was just we didn't have the information we needed.
And we're not experts.
No. Well, no. So this is really important. I'm glad we have 2 months to deal with it, but it's also, I think, when you read this, if you were filling this out, what would you put in these? And then how can we make that better? Because if you are a layperson reading this and it's important. We're here to do something important. And
If I may,
yeah.
This question and answer form, again, it's literally the verbatim text of the ordinance that's written, but it doesn't have to be just that. It can cite the ordinance and then also say, we expect that you fill it out completely. We expect that you have this type of information, et cetera. Because I concur, like, the NA has been absolutely the standard response to many of these questions, and it has been my practice to send it back to the applicant, when it's feasible to do that, or when, we have to use our judgment about that. So, but having clear instructions about what the expectations are, besides just presenting the ordinance, is a great idea, and something that the form itself is an administrative, so it needs to reflect the code, but the text that's on it can include that greater level of information and clarity. So thank you for that.
I think along with that, in the interest of time, 2 months from now, I think as this is digested by the members of the commission, that
Send me your
a
feedback.
flow of information to Marion would be, I think, very, very helpful. So that way it's not, we come back in September and dump 45 minutes apiece of our thoughts and recommendations at that time, but rather as we read through and say, this would be a good idea. I think this should be added. This should be, X, Y, and Z that can be fed to Marion leading into September. So that way it's more digested at that point, and we have a much more finished product to kind of review as far as here are the thoughts that Commissioner Seraphin had, here are the thoughts that Commissioner Valdez had, and we can then come to a consensus at that point in September, rather than, like I said, where we discuss everything for 45 minutes apiece and then have to come back in October with a finished product. I think in the interest of time and efficiency, that would probably be the best route for everyone.
I think my approach would be to put together a summary of everyone's feedback and put it in your packet, rather than add it to the document itself for that meeting.
So we should send you our comments.
Yes, individually.
Yeah.
Are these soft copies of this in our?
They may be PDFs. I will have to double check, but I can make sure that you get them.
Are we ready to move on? Move on to the next part. So then that will be able to go. That will get us to letter F. Bringing up the NRSE for the Franklin School District project.
Nick, are you driving this one?
I can get us started. I'll just note, since the last meeting this item was tabled, the school district did resubmit the application. So now it is under the current UDO, so that they just resubmitted to clear up that, to prevent any additional confusion with any ordinances that are applying. So they are under the current new UDO. They also provided a more detailed project narrative, an updated question and answer form that goes into more details as well on their request and rationale for the need for the NRSE, and an updated mitigation plan. So those are all in the packet for this meeting. One of the bigger changes, the plan is mostly the same, but they did move the wetland mitigation area from being on-site to off-site on that hilltop road or avenue property. So that did get moved. They are proposing mitigation, wetland buffers in 1.5 to 1 ratio, as required by the UDO, and the woodland areas at the 0.75 ratio. This is complying with the ordinance.
Can I ask what that means? 25, 5, what does that mean?
So forever, if you disturbed an acre wetland, you'd have to mitigate 1.5 acres.
Oh, okay.
So you're compensating more,
Okay.
1.5 times what you're disturbing.
Okay.
And for woodland, it's a 0.75 ratio for the area.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Why is woodland less?
That's the standard that was developed in the UDO. I don't know how much discussion I wasn't part of the new ordinance.
I would have to go look at my notes as to how the mitigation ratios were vetted a little bit by the environmental plan commission, made a recommendation on them. So there was a focus put on environmental corridor over other categories that I would have to do to find out why exactly that particular. So just as a bit of background for the group, Birchline was engaged to help craft those standards, and they have experience in this type of work throughout the United States. So they helped arrive at some of those recommendations. I would have to review. I don't remember. We went back and
a lot
forth
of
about it
discussion
a
around
lot.
these standards. Usually what happens.
Yep.
The only thing I was going to mention is the school district is still waiting on to hear back on wetland exemptions. So they are mitigating for all wetlands on the property that are being disturbed. There is a chance, and their consultant believes they'll have artificial wetland determinations for probably 1 and 2 and possibly wetland 5. But due to timing, they are just going to, currently the proposal is to mitigate for all wetlands. So that could likely be more mitigation than really would end up being required if they waited for those determinations. But again, so as far as the new UDO and talking about the forms with the last item, the most current standards finding decision form has been updated with the language that's just from the new ordinance. So it is actually less criteria than was required previously. But that is what the applicant is now responding to. So the forms are.
Yeah, did the, I have some. I'm sorry, I'm just getting this. I did not receive the packet, so we were waiting for endangered species evaluation. Is that completed? Can someone give an update on that?
The applicant's here if you want to sit down at the table.
I'm Jim Lundberg with Point Beginning. We're the local engineers on the project. So we engaged Evergreen Consultants to evaluate the site for the blue stem, and they stated they didn't find
Wasn't there a goldenrod?
blue stem gold. Or, no, blue stem. That was the only
Goldenrod, I thought, was
that was stipulated.
that. Where's that at, too? Is that in here, Marion? So, I'm sorry, you're saying there's one species of plant that was
listed on
found?
the list.
Oh, I thought stiff goldenrod.
Was found or was not?
That was listed as a potential, but was not found.
Was not.
So they didn't find anything?
Correct.
I don't even see.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the hilltop mitigation area? This was a proposal, right, for instead of on the campus now, it's going to be on offsite on Hilltop. I'm looking at this map. Is it the area next to this plowed field that we're talking about? I feel like our map isn't really matching up. Right? Hilltop, 80th roundabout right there. Is it the area right next to the till field we're talking about? Going down.
I believe it's off-site.
Yep, that's
Is that
Yeah.
what you're?
that's what she
Yeah,
said.
the hilltop mitigation area.
Yes.
Could you just explain to us what the plan would be for that?
Yeah,
Seeing
it
as
would
that's a new
essentially
part of the
be
plan.
infilling a good portion of the north end of the property, which open field there, and then there is an open area in the southeast corner as well that we propose it. The north side would be a combination of woodland mitigation and wet.
What's infill?
Is it just infill in an open area with woodland?
Is there a reason the mitigation was not just assigned in one larger area, an acre over here?
Space limitations there to fit all of it all in one.
Is
Because
there-
there
I thought
are
it was a field.
existing, there are existing woodland throughout the site. So this is the open area there.
Is this that
Another small-
cornfield?
I think there is a small.
We do not know who's farming that. We're not allowed to farm that land.
As a community.
Not figure out where to-
Night farming?
Filling it in means nothing else.
But that is the part they're gonna put the wood, that's where you're talking.
Correct.
Yeah.
This will,
Make a big hole.
this will then become,
Okay. We have to make
so they would say,
Yeah, who's farming that land right there?
Not know.
You don't know who's farming the land? Just the map looks like that's what you're saying you're gonna mitigate on top of this plowed field over here. I can see the other area. Is this a trail in between those two parcels? Like, would that be?
I believe there is
Yeah.
a trail in there.
sure.
Interesting.
So the plowed field is a wetland.
Combination of wetland wood. Trying to best replicate. Combination.
I guess I did, for the record, would like to make one comment about, and I'm trying to read this as quickly as I can, but the criteria for approval, the question number 1 on the form is why I asked self-imposed. And I haven't had a chance to read the response.
that's where they're.
But it's this area is currently in a signed agreement as a conservation easement. And for our education, for everyone here, Marion, can you tell us what conservation, so the school purchased the property and agreed to keep this particular part of the property as a mature woodland wetland, right? When they
Not at the time of
originally
purchase. I mean, the school goes way back. That conservation easement, I forget the date of 2014.
The 20, part of the 2012 effort.
Yeah, so when they added on the performance, performing arts
Saber Center.
portion of the building, Saber Center, that's when, under that review and that ordinance, is when the city required the school to place the conservation easement over that area.
and conservation easements are intended to go through perpetuity.
Correct.
And so I guess the problem that I have with this is, and I said it before, but I will because not everybody was here. If in 2012 or 2014, they agreed to keep all of this in a conservation easement into perpetuity so that they could build the Saber Center, the city, the school board, how is that not a self-imposed problem to now say we want to develop this area that we said we would keep as conservation?
Are you asking me?
Well, I mean, I guess, because to me that's exactly what self-imposed is.
Well, so one, I think, and going back to your questions on these forms and filling these out, I mean, it's really up to the applicant to justify their request. So I really would have them answer that question. Commission, I think, in reviewing the project, I think the community has certainly seen growth and needs with the high school, and the school district is trying to address those needs and concerns or needs they have as best they can within their site. And then you start in reviewing this, you'd start looking at alternatives and doing that type of analysis to see if there's other ways that are reasonable, that aren't so burdensome on the school district, and go down that path. And that's how I look at it to answer that question. But again, I think the school district is best to answer that.
That's pretty well stated. Investigated a whole nother high school site, $165 million. Seemed like a starter when 185 was pulled to be not very high. So, $45 million project is what we took, and that passed 55 to 44.
And how much of the referendum can be built if you leave that to tennis courts, snack shop, soccer field area out of the proposal?
They can't.
They can't.
It was expressly put in the referendum question, so legally they are bound to build those items because that was something that was said specifically in the ask on the ballot. Am I correct?
I'd have to read this question. I don't know if it nails it down to tennis courts specifically, but everything outside of those things on the drawing.
Tennis courts are
Oh.
Are they they know the question?
I believe we have a copy.
The question is right here on the front page of that was it presented to the voters.
Which? Oh.
Tennis courts right down at the very end.
Soccer field's not on there though. So it was not verbatim.
No, I was going on.
Tennis courts, pickleball courts, it's a public place too, not just for, it's also a public, will be a public venue like every outside.
So of the items that are called out in the referendum, the tennis courts are the only ones that would be in that particular area?
Specifically?
Yeah.
My question is in regards to the off-site location for the mitigation. And this kind of button hooks with the 2014 item as well of the easement that was put in place in 2014. What is stopping from this property then to be developed in the future and needing a new environmental exception and then having to displace this mitigation efforts to another offsite place?
So
that would be my
very similar to what I answered last time. Like, I will never guarantee that anything will not be done. Right? I'm not going to tell you that it's not. However, if you've ever been over there, that would be a terrible site for specifically parent pickup, parent drop-off, and busing portions. So while the site could contain a school, like logistically, that's just not gonna work without some massive, another entrance onto 76th Street heading east to meet 76th Street. So like developing it as a school site is a consideration of ours. But again, I will not be here forever. Somebody at some point will take my seat, somebody will take Anna Lee's seat, and they'll go, this is a great site, we should do something with this. So I will never say never, but it is a poor site to do anything with from a school district standpoint. How we even got it, I have no idea. But it is a great mitigation site, we have no plans for it.
And was this the location that was, and forgive me if I recall incorrectly, but was this the location that was the discussion point at the school board regarding the building of homes as part of the...
That was not, that would be directly south of CERN.
Okay.
So we own 221 acres off of Bryan between 80th and 92nd Street, so that would have been directly south of CERN, where you take CERN building products.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we're not looking at two different things.
I do have a comment about the selection of mitigation sites, and I am not the planner that reviewed this, so obviously I defer to Nick, but you, the school district, do own different property that might be more appropriate for your mitigation areas. Along Ryan Road, those lots that had been potentially considered, there's an area of floodplain there that has very low future development potential for residential development or for other uses, where the site on Hilltop could potentially be residential. The future land use of both of those lots is institutional, but as we go into our comprehensive master plan update, that is something that could potentially change. And the lot itself has some features that it's got natural resources on it, but it's being farmed. There's at least a few possible residential lots on it. Whereas that corridor of it, unfortunately I don't have a map, but there's a corridor of floodplain on Ryan Road where you could expand an existing woodland and put it under an easement, and the likelihood of it being disturbed in the future would be very low.
So I guess I would argue against that in that we know we have future uses for schools that we don't know exactly where they're going to fit on the Ryan Road land. Starting to parse off part of that now.
Put them in a floodplain.
Well, correct, but starting to parse off areas around that now, and we don't know exactly where that will go. Where we know we're not using 20 or the 21 acres on 83rd, we have no desire to sell it.
I do have one more question. If there's a retaining wall that you'll have to put in behind the Saver Center because of the grade, do you know how tall that retaining wall is going to be?
So that would be along the drive. Offhand, I don't know, but I would probably say like 12 to 15 feet. It'll have to be fenced. So I think it's 3 feet where a fence is required to additional mitigation from a fall perspective. So probably 12 to 15 feet along there.
So on top will be the
Fence.
and then behind it will be the parking lot. Then
So it's building, parking lot, retaining wall, fence courts. As we move west.
Marion, do we have from 2014 at least anything pulled up on Google Earth? And it doesn't have to be what the conservation easement or agreement was 2014 compared to like. Does that map exist?
Yeah, I mean, we have that conservation easement on file. The boundary.
I mean, even if you have an idea just to see it on Google Earth, it's just fine.
Yeah, I mean, it really covers in that corner of the wood.
Essentially
on the site. It's a rectangle.
Okay,
like
I got
you would see on an aerial where you think
Sure.
you could draw it.
Okay.
Just around that wooded area.
Yeah. So essentially, it's that square. That
Correct. No,
Okay.
I don't recall offhand. That actually went into other wetlands on the site, or
Sure.
I don't believe so. It may around those fields, over the north there. That's all floodplain, yeah.
What's the,
The
what's
fields
the,
definitely would have been out because those would have been graded.
Yeah, there's just wetlands around those.
is that the high school area right there you're
Yeah.
showing?
The big middle section.
Right there, okay.
Bottom
And-
right corner is that wetland,
Where is that?
behind the Sabre Center.
Oh, behind it. I'm looking the opposite way. Oh, okay. And where's Hilltop? I thought Hilltop was over in that
So-
subdivision.
It's like straight across from Little League on the 83rd Street.
Here's
Oh, yeah, okay. I know, but it was really hard for me to tell what it was.
yeah, it's
Where are you?
Okay.
There.
have the people.
Somewhere right here.
I'll just say it straight up.
Kind of looks like Utah.
We go back to the high school. Have the people who live around that area, no, behind the high school,
On 47.
I don't know the road, but
So we sent communication to everybody that lives within 500 feet, which is the same that the city would do. We also held open meetings for all those community members as well. And we've had 3 follow-ups. We've met with all of those individuals. And for all intents and purposes, we've answered all of their questions. Most of it was around trees directly adjacent.
And the city did receive those calls. I think it's the same resident, same homeowners that did have concerns about the trees and the disturbance really up to their property lines. How close that was going to be.
yeah. I mean, because when you buy a property and you see that behind it's a conservation easement, and then you change that, that affects your property too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. That's huge.
I agree. Anyone have any other comments on this before we vote on a motion? So I would like to make a motion to make a recommendation to city planning that
Plan commission.
or plan commission, I'm sorry, that the new development of the tennis courts, soccer fields, parking lot, to be on a different site due to the 2014 conservation agreement that was made, due to the fact that if they're asking to change it now, there's probably a good chance it could change.
I would clean up the language.
Or clean, yeah, definitely clean up language. on that,
So,
but
if I may,
yep, go.
and judging by what your intention is, my guess would be the motion would be to make a recommendation to Plan Commission where we do not approve of the natural resource exception, the NRSE. Would that be a much more cleaner version to send to the Plan Commission?
So this is a recommendation of denial. Of
Correct.
the
I believe that's what.
Do we need to have a reasoning on it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good practice certainly to.
I think the motion would be one thing, but then putting the reasoning
together.
behind the motion would be a cleaner way of presenting.
Yeah.
So a recommendation of denial due to the existence of a previous conservation lot or with what you're
Yes. And then
okay.
I guess to add on it that we made one already, you know, for development of that site.
Yeah.
The applicant will have to redesign the project to not require this if the plan commission decides.
So it goes to the planning commission
Correct.
next. Okay.
So goes to a different place, land,
So-
parcel of land, or what?
So right now, what will be, what the motion is that this body is saying we do not agree with the exception that's being asked.
I understand that.
This will go to Plan Commission. Plan Commission will take our recommendation and they will say either we will take the Parks Commission recommendation and we agree with it, or they will say, we hear what you're saying, Parks Commission, however, we are going to overrule that and give them the exception based on whatever reasonings that the Plan Commission may give. Now, they may reject it, and then the applicant would have to redo the concept and the site plan as far as what and where these items would be.
And that's
Correct, yes. But the next step would be what Plan Commission would say as far as whether they would agree with our recommendation or not.
Alternatively, you could have different conditions, so you could make a recommendation to approve but not alter the conservation easement, for example. So like the existing conservation easement, you know, could they redesign and tennis courts? So there, it isn't necessarily just a yes or no. The commission can also recommend conditions that would get you closer to something that seems reasonable. But yeah, like if it's denied altogether, they would have to redesign their project to not impact that.
And I would just note or add, I guess, that looking at the scope of this project, the building addition is outside of this area, but really the additional parking, drives, tennis courts, the practice field, concession building, I mean, that's all within this area. If this is approved, they're not redesigning all of these amenities to go on this site. I don't see that as feasible. If the applicant think there'd be any way, there's just not.
Yeah, I have two comments. One, police and fire want a connection to Highview Drive, importance of safety, the building. We have access, a second access point, the size of it, so it hasn't, they would want it today, they certainly want it with the size of it. I guess I would say the repercussions aren't necessarily to the building, they're to the kids. Something not on site yet, that we don't have. Doing practices that are existing outside now, because if we do that, there's green space, so taking students and then finding practice, so providing a full high school experience.
So
I
there's,
second the motion.
Yeah, first and second, so then,
Who made the first? Was okay. I didn't know if it was okay.
if there's any further
is
discussion
there any
based
further
on your
discussion
motion.
that anyone wants to talk on this motion, or should we take this to a vote as a
I mean, the only thing, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't, just you're looking at me. So
No, sorry,
No,
yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Do you have anything else to say?
But I believe Commissioner Sarah.
I was just, the only thing I would say is that I think the building can still be completed. It's just the mitigated or the other areas that are under conservation easement that it seems that we take issue with. And I hope that gets passed forward.
Be reworded in our motion.
The motion's already been seconded.
I think it was in there, but she's
Okay.
cleaning it up.
You get that?
Can we vote,
I mean-
vote no on it and then revise it?
A recommendation of denial based on the desire not to amend conservation.
If the motion
I
fails,
recommend to deny the exception to the NRSC due to existence of conservation easement on the lot due to a previously agreed to.
Yours is
Okay, but what about
That's
the
what he
piece
said.
that you said about?
So let's vote on this one,
But,
and then.
but what about the
Make a
piece
motion.
with the building?
Yeah.
With the building, you're saying you're
I just wanted a point of clarification. It doesn't necessarily have to be in there. But the building itself is not on this. 2 tennis courts, a snack shop, and a soccer field that are on this particular
So
area.
what building is it? Is
The
it
big
So-
new gymnasium and all of that
I
is
wasn't
not
at
on
the
this
last
area.
meeting.
This is all
Okay, so we're just talking
up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're
And so that will be clear by stating it, what I had read, it will be, okay.
Yes.
I'll add one more point for consideration. Students who participate in a co-curricular, one single co-curricular, have a 1% higher attendance rate and 0.5 GPA. If you move that up to a 3 co-curricular, a 1.0 higher GPA, and a 2% higher attendance rate. So not only are we potentially eliminating that, we're potentially putting students out into society who will not be as prepared as they will be, they are allowed to do those activities.
One other note I want to make, there are wetlands being impacted. So we feel that they're likely artificial, that has not. Would still be covered.
if the drainage ditch. Yeah.
But we don't have the final say.
I know.
So, just to be, could you read off exactly what our motion is, just so as a
Recommend,
commission?
okay, we recommend to the plan commission to deny the exception to the NRSE due to existence of conservation easement on the lot due to previously agreed to, or due to a previously agreed to agreement.
Would, in light of the comment on the building addition, I believe that's wetland 1 that you would be getting into, 1 and 2. That could be incorporated into an amended motion if the board wanted to allow for those impacts.
Got it right now. No. Can you tell me which ones are 1 and 2? Is that this one and this one?
Correct. Yeah.
Do you have that so you can show them?
Try to find it.
page.
So you're saying that 1 and 2, wetland areas 1 and 2, we could allow a mitigation on these 2 areas that are along the existing drive so that the building would go. This area is the conservation easement. That was,
Not under the current motion.
I know, yeah. I figured, well, Jesse's out, I might as well show them.
Yeah, I'll bring up the map here. probably primarily wetland 1.
So one's on the left, two's on the right.
Correct.
And do we know what's the total square foot?
It's 10,000.
And 5,
10,026 square feet, 5,973 square feet, including wetland 2. Well, there'd be the impacts to the woodland yet for the extension of Highview Drive. So it does get a little complicated if the board, but I think if the board want to make a motion or amend the motion to allow for those impacts and impacts to allow that connection drive, if that would be part of it too, or just
last
the building.
time, the connection drive was only, we were told was only for the staff parking lot. Is that changing now?
Nope. So connects all the way down. There's a staff parking lot, which is where you reference the retaining wall, located at the Saber Center.
Okay. So if we don't do that, we don't need that drive. Or I don't know why you need the drive.
So can I bring this motion to a vote then, Mary?
You probably have to.
Right. Yeah, you can vote on the motion, or you could.
You amend it. To add, no,
Or
to,
add it.
to make an edit to it before we vote.
So anyone could suggest an amendment to that motion, and if the maker and the second agreed to that amendment.
Anyone want to make any changes to it?
I would suggest a friendly amendment to allow the mitigation of the wetland area 1 and the wetland area 2.
Okay, hold on. Mitigation area 1 and 2.
Wetland area 1 and 2.
Mitigation, wetland, okay.
Well, the current motion is for denial.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But be allowed for mitigation so that the building could be built. The gymnasium, yeah.
A recommendation of denial due to the existing conservation easement, except an allowance to
Exception.
mitigate for wetlands 1 and 2 to allow for the building.
Thank you.
So,
Did you get that?
no. Recommend to deny the exception due to the NRC due to the existence of a conservation easement on the lot by a previous agreement. However, allow mitigation of wetland area 1 and 2
To allow for the building addition.
to allow for what, I'm sorry?
The building addition.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Is that your amended motion?
Do you accept?
Yes.
Is that, do you still second the amended motion?
I do.
All right, so then we'll take it to a vote.
I would like to
I
just,
hope I have.
Oh,
I
sure.
just have
Go
a
on.
question.
Yeah.
So where are the tennis courts and all of these items going to go? Where are they going to go if we vote against any building?
Well, we had Vernon Barg, which used to be the former pickleball area. It's not going to be at the high school, but we could maybe use the referendum funds to
We cannot,
Improve.
it have to be built on our site.
improve the park.
No,
No,
it cannot
it has to be on.
It has to be on a
Property
Franklin
for the
Public Schools site.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's always, it's been a concern amongst, for the tennis team to even have courts to practice on for ages.
And then last meeting, we had talked about the number of students that are on those and versus 10 acres. It was discussed, right?
Mhm.
How many students play tennis, what they're currently doing to have a tennis lab, and that didn't feel like it was an even trade-off for 10 acres for up to 21 students at the time.
Aren't there tennis courts being built by the district office now?
There's 2 pickleball courts going in the community education recreation center.
I think it's just tennis courts that are going that new space. You build this whole building and you have nowhere to park. We're going to go on the streets. That to consider. You got
But
this
Leah, we
huge
were
field
told
house.
it was I don't mean to interrupt you, but we were told it was just staff extra staff parking, that it would not be for the community to park in the.
So I would assume the staff, the community would then take over the current staff parking up front.
Yeah, I mean, I agree it's not ideal, but I also
And I think we're
we gotta
losing a-
think out of the box.
Upper field, I think we're losing a soccer field, so then that would replace one that we have. Right?
Correct.
And how many citizens voted on this referendum?
Did you say the percentage was?
55, 45, somewhere around 18 to 20,000.
So this is a unique, I think, situation where you do have a majority of the community looking at, I believe, all these plans, locations, everything was presented prior to the referendum.
But there was no.
All of the aspects were presented.
It's not like you changed.
The field moving to the far southeast corner wasn't a thing. Tennis courts is not.
Nobody knew it was conservation. It was not pointed out, though, that this was under conservation during the referendum. So, I mean, I feel like, I don't feel like.
To be honest, we didn't know until we talked to them.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the citizens didn't have that knowledge either, so I don't know that it's accurate to say that if people understood that this was, that the school board had previously signed this into a conservation easement, that they would say, go ahead and take it out and kind of.
That's why this commission exists, I think. We know things that maybe the other citizens don't know. Obviously, that there wasn't a previous agreement to it. To keep that in mind, that's why this exists. That's why we're here today. You know, I think that's, you know.
But they're mitigating the area.
But I would suspect that residents realized that this was a wooded area of the site. They may have not known it was protected via an agreement, but I would, I guess, give most people the benefit of the doubt that they realized this was a natural area currently, just looking at an aerial and the treed areas, that they didn't think it was vacant land was being developed. And I think the important, yes, the process for mitigation is certainly a significant impact to the natural resources. I mean, wetland 5, it sounds like it's degraded, but the other wetlands, certainly in the treat areas, you can't easily replace the mature woodland, so the mitigation is important. I think the UDO sets those standards for circumstances like this when it's absolutely necessary to make improvements. And again, you know, the staff analysis of it, looking at the community needs, the referendum, you know, just trying to get the best mitigation possible for these impacts. But, you know, I think the stance and outlook we've done it.
The other site that you had brought up, Kristen, on Ryan Road, and I think that you had made the comment that that was voted down just because we're maxed out at this site. That's pretty clear. And so that you can't grow the high school anymore. There's nowhere to go. But they own the school district owns other property. I don't know how long ago they looked at that, or if we had a master plan in place to look at using. I mean, eventually, if we keep putting house tops, we're going to need high school space. You know, it's already.
Nope, the high school will be sized for everything that could possibly be built in Franklin as housing. The size of that building will house that.
Ryan Road is so far away.
No, I'm not saying for the tennis courts. I'm saying for if it's a two high school town, which a lot of places go. I'm just saying there's options.
So we worked with MD Roffers, who worked with the city to determine their 50-year plan for building where houses are going to go. We have a 21-year projection on the building. We are totally fine at the high school, continue to build out the rest of Franklin's property in their high school, but this addition will be suffice from a space standpoint.
If I may, that was based on the 2025 plan. And that plan is going to be revised.
Right. That was also taking current standards for lot sizes and applying it to every piece of vacant property in Franklin.
We have significantly altered the multifamily
Multifamily generates 0.05 students per unit. A single-family house represents 0.7 students. So assuming it's all built with single family, where we'll get the bang for the buck if you're thinking students, that's where this plan on. Multi-unit housing, we don't even worry about multi-unit housing because it generates, again, 0.05 students per.
I will take a motion to vote again on our amends that we made. All those in favor?
I would recommend doing a roll call vote.
Okay.
Yes. So you will call out each person on the commission, and they will tell you if they vote for this or against it.
Okay.
And that way then, because I would assume that there will be a split as far as this vote will go, and that way then it is much more clearer
Okay.
where everyone stands when the vote is tapped.
Okay. Chair Valdez. Aye. Vice Chair Jason Craig.
No.
Myself. I'm voting no. I think it's a good idea to have it all together as long as they're mitigating the landscape. Commissioner Stanley.
Yes.
Mary Remington.
Can I abstain? I'm too torn.
Choose not to vote, yes.
Amy.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, so we have the motion and you were the second?
Correct.
Okay. And Mike Wrench is not here. So we have a 3-2. We don't have
Motion
enough.
carries.
Does it carry?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Majority vote.
So to clarify, that did not include remediation of the wetlands for the park. That are only allowed wetlands one.
Correct.
1 and 2.
And that specifically referenced for the building.
But we don't know.
It is
Correct.
but in my case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Okay, getting back to the agenda.
I just.
All right. Yep. So G, appointment of secretary by me. Yes, it's you. That's on
If
the
I,
paper.
if it's fine.
If you want to.
I said I would do it for another year.
Yay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have to vote on that?
No,
No, it's
you were
an
just appointed by the chair.
You have been formally appointed.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Conservation easements. I have no idea what that's about.
Can we table that and we'll discuss that in the future? I would recommend that we table conservation easements for tonight, given the hour that we're at.
It's gonna
I will just note you have a in your packet there is the text of the template of the conservation easement that is currently in use by the city. Take a look at it. Again, let me know if you have questions about it. This is a discussion that has happened previously because the easement template itself doesn't really make sense in some ways. So there's some things that we don't allow, like removal of invasive species under the template. So something I can.
What is that called, Marion? I'm sorry.
What is it called that's in our packet?
The conservation easement template. So it's at the top of it, it should say,
Way at the end.
yeah, just conservation easement. It's a red line. This is what we send to applicants. So when they're submitting,
And you need this back.
Correct.
you can keep that. Yeah.
I believe so.
I need the NRC stuff. Yours will probably be in your mailbox when you get home, right?
Maybe.
Let me know if you don't get it. Okay.
Uh,
Did you get the old packet?
This one?
The
It
email
looks like you
packet?
folded
Yeah.
it into.
I should say I did. I got an email that said we would be dropping off the packets. Gail sent an email and said she would be dropping it off. And I don't know if it came in the mail. Kristen, did yours come in the mail or did they drop it at your house?
It was mail.
It was
Mine was
Oh,
mail.
It was mail. Yeah, I didn't get
There you
it.
Which one does it look like? So I can-
It's the mail.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be.
I
yeah.
saw it. I know it exists. There it is. Okay. Perfect. So we'll table that for now. Do we have to motion that or no? Alright, then that's good. Littering fines. I guess I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you guys want to be done today or?
It shouldn't take long. Should it? I don't think it
I'm gonna,
Okay.
that's okay.
Yep, sounds good. All right.
Non-voting. All right.
No.
Yeah.
Yep, you're
yeah,
good.
non-voting, we can, all right, thank you.
Yep. Take care.
Have a good week.
Yep. You too.
Thank you.
So this is next time.
Yeah. It's up to you guys. You guys want to keep going? Or...
Yeah, let's-
I think these last two should go fairly
Okay,
quickly.
cool. Littering fines, discussion of a recommendation of common council to increase fines for enforcement for littering. I guess my take is, by chance, Marion, do you have the fines that exist now?
Sorry, Amy has my packet.
Oh.
I put it in your, yeah.
Yeah, because I
put in
saw
your-
the laws or something, right?
So this is the ordinance.
Or the code.
And I-
Yep.
You're right, I didn't. Sorry. I'm so sorry you didn't get one. I don't. No, okay, so the fines themselves are set by the municipal code.
Okay.
They were, I didn't actually.
Okay,
pull
can
that
we
out.
just get those for next time?
Yep.
Perfect.
I have didn't we ask about if we could get a sign that said adopt a highway or something for this? Did we have any movement on that?
Because it's Milwaukee County is in charge of Loomis, that's out of our jurisdiction. I believe.
Yeah, that's not something we.
Is this where most of the littering is? Loomis?
Going to the dump.
That was my concern. Was
Oh,
the commercial?
the dump.
Yeah, the commercial.
Oh, vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
the fact that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my initial why I want to do it.
And I've been paying attention since you brought it up
Yeah.
because I live off of Ryan Road, so heading on 36, and I pass Excelsior, which is the recycling,
Yep.
and then all the traffic that goes to the dump goes that way.
Yep.
And I mean, I saw bags flying out of the
Yeah.
top of their vehicles, and my question was, don't they have to have
Cover?
like a cover when they're?
Technically, we do DOT rule because I thought you did too. As long as your load is secured, and what that means is so vague and so. Because I've gotten a ticket for having wheelbarrow on top of a mulch pile in my trailer, and I've been pulled over with 3 wheelbarrows, and he said you're good because there's walls. So,
It's a interpretation.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So I think for that, if you could get us the existing fines for next time, that'd be awesome.
And I have one other suggestion on
Yeah.
this. Could we draft a letter as a commission to send to Waste Management and Excelsior and just ask them to please
Tarp their loads.
pay more attention to tarp their loads, that the litter.
The commission can make its own commentary, but if it were to come from like common council, it would just be you guys first.
What's the name of it, Amy?
I think it's Excelsior.
You're talking about the red dumpsters, right?
Yes,
Okay.
like a little recycling.
Yeah, their lease is up
I
in
don't
3
even
years.
actually know what.
But yeah.
But they have
It's not the ones that get our garbage?
no.
No, well, it's part of it, but it's
Maybe.
it's
I
it's,
honestly don't
process.
know. I
it's
just know that
Eagle. Any. I think the best way to word it is any commercial dumping vehicle that uses 36, or commercial vehicle that uses 36. Just because I'm essentially Franklin, I believe Muskego, South Milwaukee, Cudahy, they all use the Franklin landfills, which is great because
Shipping fees.
they pay for it, but you're leaving Loomis look like it's
Okay.
the problem we're trying to solve.
Okay.
But because Waste Management and GFL generate a lot of money for the city, we don't want to piss them off, and they're very nice. They pay for a lot of things for us too, so it's more essentially. Hopefully, if
Careful,
we increase
yeah.
your fines, they'll put on a tarp
Yeah.
on their truck. So it's kind of at least my angle where I'd like to see that. So we'll table that for now. Invasive species management, information about buckthorn invasive species. I don't know. Just want to deal with this today or table it for now. I feel like we talk about buckthorn every time. There's only so much we can do.
Where did this come from?
Mr. Pelkey.
Yeah, Andy Pelkey.
Oh, okay.
Let's. I'll put it on the next agenda, but let's write an article or get an article about buckthorn in a newsletter eventually.
I thought there was one.
Well,
There have
I'll
been
do
a
it again.
few.
Okay, do another one.
Yeah, I think.
So in your packet is just the history of how the Environmental Commission has previously engaged with this issue, because it is another perennial concern of residents. Buckthorn in particular, and then invasive species in general are an issue. And how they get managed both on city lands and on private property. So there was actually a survey that went out to the community to find out kind of how much people know about it and what they would like to change. That happened a couple of years ago. I put what I could find in the file in your packet. So if you have questions about those materials, I can respond to those, or we'll talk about it later. I've talked about buckthorns so much.
Yeah. Is there any other comments or concerns? Or are you guys ready?
I do have one comment. The mayor's speech at the beginning, his citizen comment. I'm not sure what that was based off of
I
because
think it was my potty.
Yeah, we
Was
received
it?
a complaint about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know specifically what it was
It's okay.
because I didn't feel like it was hostile. I feel like we had good conversation and lots of dialogue about different things that we weren't familiar with.
Okay.
So I want that to be recorded on this meeting.
You're on record.
That
Yeah.
the people that were present at the meeting seemed perplexed by that comment that it got aggressive and out of control. I did
I
not
don't-
feel like that as a commissioner on this board, and I want that to be noted.
So I'm sorry, it was specifically just that
Am I supposed to be documented or no?
a
You're just
foul
bringing
word
it.
was used. That was it. That was the.
Yeah. I
that
think
was
it
what
was-
generated this.
That's
Yes.
my understanding of
Okay.
what the issue
The decorum, that was the issue.
For the record, I apologize.
I didn't need that. I just wanted
Yeah.
that get it onto the recording that
Well, you wanted
It
on the
wasn't-
minutes.
I
think
you
it's
might want
appropriate
it in the minutes
Yeah.
because
What do you
I
want
don't
Dave
think
to
there was
say there?
anything aggressive. He specifically did say it got aggressive. That concerned me because I was like, wait,
I'll tell you what he
I don't
said.
think that's accurate.
I think it was my tone.
Yeah.
There's
Couple things.
I noted what he said and appreciate him refreshing our, rules
Sure.
of engagement. in this
Contentious
kind of-
and loud. is what he said.
Contentious and loud.
But it was just surprising to me. I didn't realize that it got like that, and I remember being at the meeting.
What does
so.
contentious?
And then also, I just wanted to ask,
I didn't learn that.
when I did the minutes last month, I put that the mayor was present, but he did exactly what he did here, where he just presents at the very beginning and then dismisses himself.
Yeah, I'll put him
He's
as
still-
citizen.
Does he still go on the minutes?
Yeah.
that he was.
I would say so because he's an elected.
Okay.
I
So
would
put
probably-
So
that he
you
was.
mark him as
Okay.
present,
All
right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's not like on the list there, but I put him in the minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna, yeah.
Okay.
And one way to deal with that for the group is that when he left, you could note the time in the minutes. So the reason we are required to record that information is because if there are multiple members of another body here, so common council in this case, that could represent
A quorum.
a quorum.
Oh,
so
I see, okay.
We notice most meetings in such a way that there's some public ad key notice on the agenda that council members.
Okay.
To gather information.
I do have a
without
question.
taking action.
So, I'm sorry.
I make a motion, and I,
You can.
I second that. Thank you for the clarification.
And I do have, you guys are doing
Does
a great
everyone
job.
Yes.
I'll call for a
Just so
vote.
you know,
Oh, can I
like, I
call-
know you were worried about this
Combining.
kind of project.
Yeah.
But the dialogue is exactly what it should be. You know, contentious aside, you're asking questions that residents should be asking about this variance process and thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, even when we voted,
I mean, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
We're still.
Yeah, you don't have to all agree. It
Yeah.
sounds like that you don't. You're doing exactly what you're doing a great job. So thank you so much. I really.
Yeah, thank you, Marion, so much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your
Yeah.
vacation next month.
All those in
We should
favor?
probably turn.
Aye.
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 8:45.
Thank you.